Professor Robert Solis. Welcome to this video lesson. We're going to be talking about Microsoft PowerPoint, and the intent of this video is to give you a general introduction of how to use PowerPoint. So when you first open it up, again, you'll notice that there are several tabs that are available. Each one of these tabs is going to reveal a ribbon, which is a horizontal display of all of the different tools that you have, and these are groups. So this is the clipboard group, the slides group, font, paragraph, so forth and so on. All these comprise together to form a ribbon for each of these different tabs. Okay, so when you're creating a PowerPoint presentation, really what you're trying to do is you're trying to create something similar to a 5-paragraph essay where you have an introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So in this case, let's go ahead and give this thing a title. So click to add title. We'll say CSIS 130 presentation. And then over here it says click to add subtitle. So we simply click in here, and I'm going to put by Robert Solis. You'll put by and then your first and last name. Alright, so now that you have your title slide, let's go ahead and insert another slide. Now the way that you do that is over here in the Home tab. You'll notice in the Slides group you have this new slide. There's two parts to this new slide button. There's the top and the bottom part. See, if you just click the top part, it's going to insert a new slide. If you click the bottom part, it's going to allow you to select what type of slide you want. So for example, if I click the new slide, this bottom part of the new slide, notice that I have all kinds of different options. Okay, I think I'm just going to go ahead and click the top part of the slide button, so I'll click over here, and it just simply inserts a new slide. Okay, so over here where it says click to add title, I'm going to click over here and type introduction. Okay, so we have introduction typed over here, and notice now that I have all these bullet points that I can add additional items. So over here where it says click to add text, I'll click over here, and I'm going to talk about three things. I'm going to talk about cars, enter. I'm going to talk about colors, enter, and I want to talk about animals, say for example. Alright, so every time I press enter, it creates a new bullet, and it allows me to type whatever the text is that I want to create. Alright, well I have these two slides. This is my introduction. The three individual slides I'm going to create, that is 3, 4, and 5, we're going to talk about cars, colors, and animals respectively. So let's go ahead and create a new slide, but instead of typing or clicking this guy over here, click the bottom part of the new slide button, and when you do that, you get all these options. And in this case, let's say that we only want a title-only slide. So click the title-only slide, and as you can see over here, it just shows, well, let me select number 3 rather, it just shows the title. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click inside here, and we're going to talk about cars. Alright, now what I would like to do is I would like to include some pictures of cars, specifically maybe some animation. And if I want to do something like that, I'm going to click the Insert tab, and then you'll see that I have in the Images section, Clip Art. So we'll click Clip Art, and that's going to reveal a task pane over here, specifically for the clip art. I need to type in something that I'm looking for, so let me just simply type in cars, and then I'll click Go. Give it a couple seconds, and it's going to give you all kinds of items that have to do with cars. Now, some of these clipboard items are on my hard drive, and some of them are on the internet. It doesn't matter where they're located. All you do is just simply click them, and then they're going to appear over here in your slide. Okay, so let me go back over here toward the top, and I notice that I have this guy over here. If I hover on top of it, it tells me what the size is. So in this case, this is 257 by 161 pixels. It tells me how big it is, and also that's a WMF file. You'll see that over here. Okay, so I'm going to click on this guy, and now the clip art appears on the slide. I can take this thing and move it around. I can also resize it. I would recommend that you use these corner resizing handles. I don't like to use the edge resizing handles because, as you can see, it distorts the image and it loses its proportion. So let me hit Control-Z 2 times, and then let me go ahead and resize this thing. The green button over here allows you to rotate this thing either counterclockwise or clockwise. Okay, so I'm going to put it back over here, and let's say that I want the car to be over here, say for example. And this time I'd like to insert something more than just simply a clip art. What I would like to do is to enter some sort of an animation. So what I'm going to do over here is I still want to search for cars, but in terms of the results, I'm going to click this drop down, and what I want specifically are videos, right? Some sort of a graphical animation of cars. I don't want any of these other items. So I just leave videos checked, and then I click go. Alright, so now I have some other items. Let's say that I click this guy over here. So I click it, and I'm going to move this over here. Now, that sure doesn't look like it's animating. Looks like it's static instead of dynamic. Well, the issue is that you are currently in this design view. If you want to see what this thing is going to look like, we would need to be in the slideshow view. So currently we're in this normal mode, but this guy over here, the slideshow mode, if I were to click this, now you can see the animation. Okay, so I need to get out of this, so I'm going to press escape on the keyboard. You do the same thing, press escape, and that's going to get out of the slideshow mode. So this thing is showing you the first frame, and all of these other animations, I can click a couple of them as well. So let's see, let me click this one over here and put it over here like this, increase the size. I'll click this one over here, that looks kind of funny, put that over here. Alright, so I think that's illustrating the point. Again, everything is dynamic or static right now. If I want to see what it looks like, I'm simply going to click the slideshow view, and now I can see the animations in play. Okay, so let me press escape on the keyboard. And now we're back into the design view. So that takes care of slide number 1. Now, the next slide of my body is going to be about colors. So I want to make sure that slide number 3 is selected, because when I insert a new slide, when I click new slide rather, it's going to put a new slide after the currently selected one. So if 2 were selected, and if I selected a new slide, do you see how it appears after slide number 2? Let me Control Z for undo. I don't want to do that. I want to select slide number 3, and then I want to insert a new slide. And I'll just simply click the top part because I just want a standard slide. Oh, wait a minute. It looks like it's another one of those title slides. Why? Because it's inheriting the properties of the previous slide. Well, I really don't want that. So again, let me Control Z to undo. And it looks like I'm going to have to click the bottom part here of the new slide button. And in this case, I want to try this one over here where it says to content. Okay, so we're going to click to content, and now notice what happens. So I have both a left and a right side set of bullets for whatever my topic is, which in this case is going to be colors. So over here where it says click to add title, I'll type colors. And then over here, I can talk about one set of colors called the RGB version of colors, where R is red, G is green, and B is blue. Right? So over here we can talk about that other option. Was it CMYK, I think? Cyan, magenta, yellow, and I don't know what K stands for. Maybe that's not the right one. But the idea is that I can talk about 2 different columns. So C is equal to cyan, M is magenta, Y stands for yellow, and for the life of me, I can't remember what K stands for, so we'll just put a question mark there. The idea is this. You have 2 different columns of data that you can represent in this particular slide. So that's good enough right here. And by the way, what I did is when I pressed Enter, the bullet is going, a new bullet is going to appear under RGB, and then what I did is I hit Tab. And notice that when I hit Tab, it moves in 1 additional level as I indented it. So that's how I was able to get the red, the green, and the blue indented. So let me backspace and get rid of that. Okay, so that takes care of slide number, well, it's slide number 4, but it's really our second body point. Our last body point is about animals. So again, let me select this guy over here. And I want to click the bottom part of the new slide button. And in this case, let's say that I want to have just the regular title and content. Okay, so over here, I'm going to type animals. And I'm going to talk about some particular point of animals. Okay, so animals, there's wild animals, there's domestic, and then you have pets, say for example. All right, whatever the topic I want to talk about, I can list it here within this text box. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the size of this text box to here, and I can even move this thing. So I look at the perimeter, and I grab the perimeter, and I move this thing to wherever I want. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to have an animal, maybe like a dog that runs across the screen. And so let's see if we have something here. It looks like the clip art pane is still open. If the clip art pane were not still open, you could just simply click Insert, click on Clip Art, and then there's the clip art pane. I'm going to look for a dog. Let's see, so dogs. And specifically, I want to look for some sort of an animation. So I'll leave the videos selected, and I'll click Go. Okay, so no results found. Okay, how about just simply dog? Nothing? Wow. Okay, how about animals? Animal. Nothing for animal. How about animals? Okay, here we go. For under the word animal, it looks like I've got something, and it looks like these are all, yeah, GIF files. So these are all animation. So I'm just going to simply scroll down here and see if I can find something that I can use to illustrate going across the screen rather. So I'm really surprised that there isn't a dog option in here, but that's okay. Well, there's a poodle. Oh, that's a pretty bad one. Let's see here. Okay, how about this one over here where he's walking? Let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to click that guy. Let me play this by clicking the slideshow and see what this looks like. Okay, that looks kind of funny. It looks like he's walking there. Only one cycle, but that's okay. All right. What I want this picture to do is I want it to move across the screen. Now, how do I get that to happen? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this X right here, and then I'm going to click on animations. Now, within animations, I have all kinds of different standard animation types. So here's appear, here's what fade looks like, here's what fly-in looks like, and it gives you a preview as you hover on top of each of these different animation items. One of the things I can do is I can also click this bottom button, which is the More button, and that's going to show me all of the different options as well. So all I have to do is hover on top of them and it shows me what it looks like. Okay, I want you to notice over here the More Motion Paths. So let's select this guy over here, More Motion Paths. I'm going to move this panel over here. And again, I have all kinds of different motion paths. Let's see what happens when I select the circle. See how it moves the item in a circle, and what does football look like? Okay, so it moves it more in a football shape. Let's see here. What if I were to select down? What does that look like? Okay, so it's moving it down. What if I selected left? Ah, I like that one. Do you see how it's moving it to the left? That's the same direction he's walking, so I like that. So I will select left. I'll click OK. And now I have the beginning and ending arrows. Well, I want this ending arrow to go off screen, say for example. So I'm going to drag this thing all the way off screen. Let's see what this looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and click slideshow. And let me go ahead and click, and it goes off screen. Okay, I like it, but the only bad thing, let me press escape on the keyboard. The only bad thing is that I have to click to get this to work. Let me demonstrate this again. If I click the slideshow, okay, I'm not clicking or doing anything, I'm just watching the slideshow, and this thing is stuck. Now I'm going to click the mouse, so here I go, click, and now it moves off the screen. I don't want that to happen. I want this thing to move off of the screen immediately. So what I have to do is I have to affect the custom animation. The way it's set, or I have to affect the timing within the custom animation. The way it's currently set up is click, or rather on click is when this thing is actually going to move. I don't want that to happen. I'm going to click this drop down and I'm going to say with previous. So what that means is this thing will move with the previous transition. So if I click this, and if I go ahead and click the slideshow button, now notice that as soon as I go to that slide, it immediately moves off screen. That's exactly what I want. I'm going to press escape, and now I'm back over here. Okay, we're finished talking about all of the different body points. We're now ready for our conclusion slide. So with slide number 5 selected, I'm going to go back to home. I'm going to click the new slide button, the bottom part, and we'll simply select a title and content slide. And over here where it says click to add title, I'll type conclusion. And then I'm going to summarize. Now, in a 5-paragraph essay, you typically talk what you talked about. So we talked about cars. So we'll see, my favorite car is a BMW. Oops, sorry, BMW. And then we talked about colors. So my favorite color is green. And I have a pet rat named Rosie. Okay, so the idea of a conclusion is to repeat what it is that you have already talked about. So you tell them what you told them. Well, we are finished now with our 6 slides. We have the intro, we have the body, and we also have the conclusion. All right, so that takes care of this first part of the presentation. It's just kind of generating the content. What we're going to do next time is we're going to add a little bit more flair to our presentation so that it looks a whole lot nicer. So there's my conclusion music. Can you guys hear that? Yeah, sounds pretty nice, right? Nice harps. Okay, so that tells me we're at 14 minutes. I'm going to stop the video here, and I want to shoot you over to lesson number 2, or part 2, and we'll continue from there.